The sound of a 90-pound Mastiff knocking a toddler to the floor is unmistakable. Emily heard it from the kitchen, that heavy, dull thud that makes every parent's blood stop. She dropped the dish towel and ran. Duke had Ava pinned. The toddler was flat on the carpet, face up, the dog's massive head lowered directly over the child's face. Ava was crying, not screaming, just that confused, frightened cry that meant something hurt, but nothing was broken yet. "Duke!" "No." Emily grabbed the dog's collar and pulled hard. Duke resisted. For the first time since they'd brought him home 3 years ago, he didn't obey immediately. His body was rigid. His eyes stayed locked on Ava. She pulled harder. The dog finally stepped back, but slowly, reluctantly. Ava sat up, tears streaming, reaching for Emily. No visible injuries, no blood. Just scared. But that sound, that thud, that had been real. She scooped Ava up and carried the toddler to the couch, heart still racing. Duke stood exactly where she'd pulled him, staring at them both. His tail wasn't wagging. His ears were forward, alert, not guilty, not ashamed, just watching. When Mike got home that evening, Emily was still shaken. She explained what happened. The sound. The way Duke had Ava on the floor. The way he wouldn't move when she called him. Mike knelt down and checked Ava carefully. No bruises, no bumps. The toddler was already playing again, completely fine. But Emily wasn't fine. "He's never done anything like that," Mike said. "I know. That's what scares me." Mike looked at Duke. The dog sat in the corner of the living room, eyes moving between Mike and Ava. Calm, steady. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe Ava startled him. It didn't feel like an accident. It felt deliberate. That night, they kept Duke in the laundry room while Ava slept. It felt wrong. He'd never been locked away before. But Emily couldn't shake the image of that moment, the weight of the dog on top of their child. The next morning it happened again. Emily was changing Ava's diaper when Duke came into the nursery. He walked directly to the changing table and pressed his nose against Ava's face. Not sniffing, pressing. "Duke, back." He didn't move. She said it louder. "Duke, back, now." Still nothing. She physically pushed him away. He took 2 steps back, then immediately moved forward again, nose going straight to Ava's mouth. Emily's patience snapped. "Out! Now!" Duke finally left, but only after she raised her voice to a level that made Ava start crying. That afternoon, Emily called the vet. The vet listened carefully, asked questions. How old was Duke? Had there been any other behavior changes? Any aggression toward other people? No, just Ava. The vet was quiet for a moment, then said, "It might be stress. Sometimes dogs react unpredictably when there's a baby in the house, especially if they were used to being the center of attention." Emily thanked her and hung up. By that evening, she'd made the decision. Duke couldn't stay. Mike didn't want to believe it. He'd raised Duke from a puppy, trained him, trusted him. But he'd also seen the fear in Emily's face. He'd heard the description of that moment, the dog on top of their child refusing to move. They agreed to call a rescue organization in the morning. That night, Duke slept in the garage. Emily lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She felt guilty. She felt scared. She felt like she was betraying a family member. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw Duke's head hovering over Ava's face, and her chest tightened. At 2:47 a.m., the baby monitor lit up. Ava was crying. Not the usual fussy cry. Something else. A strange, weak sound. Emily sat up immediately and grabbed her phone. The video feed showed Ava in the crib, barely moving. She ran. Mike was right behind her. When they opened the nursery door, Duke was already inside. He'd somehow gotten out of the garage, somehow made it through the house, somehow opened the nursery door, or it hadn't latched. He was standing on his back legs, front paws on the crib rail, nose pressed against Ava's face. "Duke, get back." Mike grabbed the dog and pulled him away. Emily reached into the crib and lifted Ava. The toddler's skin was pale, cold. The crying had stopped. Something's wrong. The paramedics arrived in 6 minutes. One of them took Ava from Emily's arms, checked vitals, asked rapid-fire questions. When did this start? Any fever? Any vomiting? Any known allergies? The second paramedic noticed Duke. He was standing in the hallway, completely still, eyes fixed on Ava. "Has the dog been acting strange?" Emily nodded, barely able to speak. "Yes, for 2 days." The paramedic looked at Ava again, looked at Duke, then looked at Emily. "We need to get to the hospital now." At the ER, a doctor examined Ava thoroughly. Blood tests, monitoring, questions. Then she came back into the room with a printout and a very serious expression. "Your daughter's glucose level had crashed to 42. Emily's breath stopped. The doctor continued, her voice calm but firm. "Another 15 minutes, and we would be having a very different conversation." She looked at both parents. "What made you bring her in tonight?" The pale skin. The doctor nodded slowly. "And the dog?" Emily looked at Mike. He looked back at her. "He wouldn't leave Ava alone," Emily said quietly. "For 2 days. We thought he was being aggressive." The doctor's expression softened. "Dogs can detect blood sugar drop before we can. It's documented. The change in scent, in breath chemistry, they pick it up long before symptoms are visible to us. E was trying to tell you." When they brought Ava home 3 days later, Duke was waiting by the door. Emily knelt down and put her arms around his neck. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry." That night Ava slept in the crib. Duke slept on the floor beside it. No one asked him to. He just did.